Hi, hello, and welcome back to another very exciting episode of the Nincompoops podcast. It is episode 70. You want to know why I know that? Because last episode was 69, so therefore today has to be
Nice.
70. I can count!
Nice.
I can count, boys!
What's after 69? 69 part 2.
No. No.
And if you're here with us now, we officially started season 2 of the Nincompoops
Oh,
podcast.
shit.
Yes.
That's all I forgot about
This
that.
is season 2. Now you'll be asking, what will change with season 2? Number 1, the writers will change. Our
The
scripts
writers?
gonna be better than ever. Okay. We've hired better actors. So the
I'll
three
go
of
for
us
that.
as actors will be retiring the roles of Dean, Jim, and Paul. We'll have more handsome Jim, Dean, and Paul actors to fill our slots soon. But for now, this is just a temporary thing. Just letting you know, our contracts got annulled because we weren't pulling enough viewers. So they're hiring.
Oh, why?
They're hiring.
Why you gotta say it like that?
They're hiring better looking people. You know,
Yeah.
Paul. It sounds sad, but this is show business, okay? But yeah,
I don't like it.
there will be better looking actors for the three of us, and it's not because we're ugly. It's just that we're just not extremely handsome.
Yeah, we're too
filling-
average.
filling my
extremely-
slot
So much
would
like a
be-
normal man.
Will be the lead singer of BTS. He will be filling my spot. There is a language barrier that
Oh,
he's
shit, do we
missing.
get to pick who's Damn, that's sick.
No, we don't get to pick who replaces us.
Oh.
The network is pulling random hot people to fill in our slots.
I know nothing about like the singers in BTS. I'm like not
Filling-
caught up at all with that.
Filling Paul's role is Ice Cube. Ice Cube's gonna be filling Paul's role, and for Dean, they're replacing Dean with Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio will be
Yes.
filling Dean's role.
Dude, sick!
You know what? That's almost a perfect fit.
Yeah,
That's a good one right there.
That's sick. Rey Mysterio as me,
yeah,
Mhm.
and it'll be unmasked, so they'll never know that's Rey Mysterio.
right?
I guess unless they're listening to me right now, then I guess they know now. So
Can I just have Hulk Hogan?
no,
Damn.
none of us are white. Or at least not white enough.
I mean, they never stopped like movie directors before in the past with like retconning characters'
Yeah.
races and all that. Never stopped in the past.
I think for our director, it should be James Gunn.
Yeah, they're trying to phase out the bidet topics for this upcoming season.
I don't want to be
Um,
here no more. This is a terrible show. It's already going downhill.
Yeah, it's the price we pay for. Oh, I guess the three of us will be paying it. But anyway, back to our characters. So it's Jim here, and
This
yeah,
is a dumb bit.
season
This
two.
goes on for too long.
You're dumb.
Season 2. I was about to say like it's episode 70. Do I really need
I
to like
think-
introduce each other?
I
say
think
each other's names and all
now that we did the tier list for last episode, it opens up
Yeah.
to trying out more stuff than just
That is true.
what we do normally do. Maybe not all the time,
Okay.
but maybe every now and then we might do something a little bit different.
Like little mini specials and all that.
Yeah,
It's me, Rey
change it up.
Mysterio!
It was just circling around in the background for that ever since you made that joke.
Yeah, but yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll have like game stream sometime too, because we play video games. That is the thing we do.
That is
We do play video games. We have not been playing like very consistent video games or
That is true.
very similar games
Well, not all,
Yeah.
all together, but I've been
all together.
with my
Valheim lasted like a good week or so.
I think it's the content. It's still too early, you know.
Hmm
Still like
Yeah, maybe they add more stuff,
Yeah,
and not just like padding, but as in like they actually like add new features. That'd be kind of cool.
yeah. I
Yeah.
heard they're adding new stuff either at the end of January or early February for the
Oh,
Mhm.
neat. That's around that time right now.
yeah.
It's coming
Really?
up. Yeah. I've been starting to enjoy Valorant again. When we played earlier, I had a little bit of fun, even if I got
Really? I thought it was
Yeah.
just like a one-time thing. Like,
We got shitted
some-
on today.
today.
Yeah, I mean, low run did fine. But I didn't do too well.
Yeah, I saw you guys on Discord earlier before I had to go out for errands.
Yeah.
we're-
So I'm like, oh, I was wondering what you guys were doing.
But nice to know that after I got back and I warmed up a little bit, I'm just as bad as before. Before I stopped playing, so that is
Really?
a nice reassurance.
Nice.
Spike Rush is always fun.
It's very short and sweet. I mean,
Hey.
like, casual is already relatively short, compared to like other games, like Counter-Strike, for example. But Spike Rush is definitely a lot
Hey.
shorter.
Stop.
Yeah.
No, I will not stop. I have been like, I never stopped playing like
Damn it. Hey, over here.
I never stopped playing old school RuneScape, but I don't know. I decided to try out the League thing yesterday, and you know what? 5-time XP. For some reason, it's a lot of fun. Just because, like, I get every couple minutes, I get that dopamine rush, that serotonin. I'm just like, hell yeah, level up again. Jim, you're the one that has like knows the most about RuneScape, out of or most familiar with it. I started doing agility today, like from like level 1 and all that.
Yeah.
Just from today, I'm already like level 60.
Damn.
What the fuck? Oh right, the times 5 XP, right?
Times 5 XP. But if you get to
that makes sense. Yeah.
But if you get to like tier 3 in the league, which I got, it changes from like 5 times XP to like 8 times XP.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, because I was just thinking like reflexively when you said you got 60 in a day, I was like, holy fuck, you had like no life because it took me a while to get to 60 from 1. But
I was also
XP
like gone
multiplier.
like half the day too.
Huh?
I was gone half the day too, so I wasn't even playing.
Yeah.
So I still got
the
like
XP multiplier. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Because normally, for those who don't know, that ability is just like you do parkour on rooftops, and all you do is just click stuff, but then like in certain spots of the parkour course, you fall, so you lose out on the big XP jump at the end. So normally, it's like really frustrating to complete a lap because the big XP is at the very end, and if you fall off a lot, and you don't get very much XP, But yeah, if you're getting like times 5 or times 8, then it saves you a lot of time because
every time I finished the lap, I got like 1.5k experience.
Yeah, it takes you like a few hours just to get to like 30 or 40, and it takes you several more hours to get from 40 to 60, and once you get to 92 agility out of 99, that's like halfway to getting 99. Which if you don't play RuneScape, that makes like no sense, but that's just kind of how.
I'm already like passing up my main account with the agility level. I'm already passed it up in like not even like a single day yet. It's wild, and it's the same. The experiencing also applies to like quests as well. The quest experience as well. So even like doing like freaking Cook's Assistant. Cook's Assistant. Everyone knows Cook's Assistant. It's like the meme quest at the beginning. I finished that. I think I got like that one quest. I got up to like level 20 cooking just from finishing that quest. Just from like turning in eggs, milk, and flour. It took like less than a minute to do because I already had the stuff ready. So that's crazy. I've been having a lot of fun with that.
Stop biting me. What are you doing?
Cat's up to no good, eh?
Yeah, he's biting my anime figure.
Ah, yes, the anime figures.
Yeah, my one anime figure I got off of the anime convention we went to a couple years ago.
Ah, yes. That's a shame we'll never go back.
That's
most likely.
Yeah, that's coming back again. I wonder if they're still doing the thing.
No
Dude,
clue.
models are fucking. These figures are fucking expensive, man. Like, I'm assuming the waifu ones are more expensive, but I'm not a waifu guy, so I wouldn't pay for one. But like, even this one was like $40 for this shit, and and this is it's not even like a good one either. Like the hair is not even the right color.
Is that Lelouch?
Yeah, it's Lelouch from Code Geass.
Ah, yes, I know that opening. It's a good opening.
It is a good opening. It's a meme.
Unironically, once you get past like the meminess of a song, usually it's because like those songs are bops, and then when you're
it's a banger of a song. It's just that the first 2 words are meme to death.
Oh, that's true.
It's Jibun Wo, and the reason why I know those are the exact words because it's been memed to death.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually good songs are memes. Like Baka Nitai is a banger song. It's the only song people know from Yakuza. But it is a banger, and that's why people know it.
I was like surprised when we first brought it up to you, and you were like, "What's that?" I'm like, "You don't know Bakumitai?" It's been around for like at least like a couple months now, and I was so surprised you didn't know that because you're so well versed in the meme.
Not really. You really overestimate my my involvement in meme culture.
I just assumed that like if I know it, surely Jim knows it because I'm like even less into meme culture.
I don't even know what the current memes are. The only memes I get are like the ones off of political Twitter, and that's not exactly like the mainstream meme culture.
That's in and of itself also like pretty niche just because like it's politics.
Yeah.
And no one except like low key masochists get into politics. Like you have to hate yourself to like a certain degree to like be constantly into it.
It depends on which circle you're in. Our circle involves people who don't really go outside.
Yeah, unfortunately. Indeed. But I mean, I still miss the days when I was like not into politics as much, where I'm just like, well, I mean, life kind of sucks, but it is how it is. Now I'm just like, I know things suck, and I know why they suck, and there's very little we can do to change that.
Oh no! Now they got my amiibo. No, poor Robin.
Oh no.
Which Robin, male or female Robin?
Male.
All right. Oh, you're right. You're not into waifus.
The reason why I got this is because I thought it was bigger. I thought it was like at least this big. I was very wrong, and I heard that if I got an amiibo, it would give me bonuses in Fire Emblem 3 Houses. So I bought this for that reason.
Did you get those bonuses?
I did. All it does is let you be able to use the ending, like the final boss theme in the non-story battles.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
What?
And I think it was like an item or something, but the item was like pretty, it wasn't very consequential or anything.
Oof, stinks. That stinks. Was the song at least good?
Yeah, it's the final map of Fire Emblem Awakening.
I would have to listen to
that
again. It's been years. It's been years since I last played Fire Emblem Awakening.
It's a banger. It's a banger final boss theme. It's not my favorite of the Fire Emblem themes, but it's a pretty good one.
Nice. How long? Freaking Dean, I just looked back at you again. How long are you going to be wearing that? How long are you going to have that?
Is that Deadpool mask? Or a Spider-Man mask?
That was Deadpool.
It's a Deadpool sunglasses that we found.
You found?
Yeah.
You just like walk down the street and you're like, oh look, it's Deadpool.
No, we found it in our boxes. And I was like, yo, this is sick. Who had these?
It's just random Deadpool glasses.
Yep.
So you gonna be wearing that the entire episode?
I hope so.
You hope? All right.
Okay, I mean, it's not the most scuffed thing I've seen people like one of us pick up. I haven't seen it, but I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. But Jeffrey once saw like a hydro flask, in one of his college classes, and then he was like, "Hey, there ain't nobody's, right?" And he took the hydro flask and he brought it home. Apparently, it had like coffee grounds in it, so he washed it out and washed it thoroughly, and he started owning a hydro flask.
I think I don't know if this is like the most scuffed or probably the most degenerate thing that I've done that I've picked up. It was like when I was at I think my second to last year of university, someone was giving a class presentation, and for some reason it involved like condoms. And I don't remember what it was about.
Free condoms.
But at the end, it was just condoms. And at the end of the presentation, he was like, "All right. I mean, I have like extras like lying around here on this table. Does anyone want any?" I was like, "Fuck it, I'll take it. I'll take some condoms. I don't know when I'll need it. I'll take it. Who knows?"
Yeah, and then you blew them up into balloons.
I still have them too. I don't even know if they're expired or not, or no longer good. But
isn't it wild that they can expire? Like you would assume, like it's just a plastic like sheath would like last a while, right? But
yeah, I didn't know they expired until like months later, when I just like cruising through the internet for some reason, just like the information popped up and like, yeah, just expired condoms. I was like, they expire? The fuck? That's so odd. But I don't know. I haven't had a chance to use them yet, so they're probably. I don't know how long the lifespan is.
You can still try to use them. You just you're just beating them off and you're not into them. It's like a captured jar, you know. And then you can sling it at old ladies across the street.
Oh God.
Don't do that.
It's like the fucked up version of like egging someone's house.
Yeah, it's begging.
Damn, he's using them as nunchucks to hit the fucking.
Oh no! Oh no!
This is my weapon of choice to vanquish my enemies.
It's like those memes you see, like pick your fighter or pick your weapon.
This is my strongest attack.
Use condom.
Seed. Ba, 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 ba.
Oh no! Oh no! I don't know what's up with your lighting, Dean. Like for some reason, you just got darker all of a sudden.
I know. I was like, I can't see myself anymore.
Is like the lights in your room off, or
no? It's on.
It's on.
Yeah.
Your lights are on? What the fuck? It looks so dark for you. It's such a like stark contrast between like the island, volcano background you got, and Dean's just like.
I'm just disappearing now. Look.
He just looks like he's like from the Matrix or something. Just he's like in a dark background wearing those goofy sunglasses.
There we go. Yeah.
Ah, there you go. There you go.
It was a color.
So odd. All right. So, anything new with you guys? What's going on?
I took a nap today.
Took a nap. Yeah, I can't say that I've been doing a whole lot. Nothing new. Yeah. The only exciting part of my day today was when for some reason I was on my phone while I was out, and I got a little spook. And for some reason I got like some horizontal green lines on my phone all of a sudden when I was going through Twitter, and then my phone just shut off. I was like, oh no! It did like a hard shut off. So I turned it back on. I was like, it was fine again. So I was like, all right, that's kind of weird. I don't know what was up for that, but that was a little spooky, and that's the exciting part of my day today.
Someone's controlling your phone, turning it off.
Maybe. I low-key thought... It was like kind of like similar, like I ain't gonna lie, this is probably like such a boomer mindset or something, like, or boomer thought, and I thought like, is someone hacking my phone? What's happening? These look like Matrix lines. It's the line for the Matrix on my phone for some reason. Just shut it off.
No, they figured out that you're part of the simulation. They're gonna plug you in or plug you back out.
It's like my phone is getting hijacked into. What the fuck's happening? As I look around inside the McDonald's.
You're getting unplugged, Paul.
I don't know what's up with that. Maybe my phone is just getting old. I don't know. It's like an iPhone 6.
Yeah, that's probably it.
It's probably it, most
Apple's
likely.
Just fucking like, oh yeah, this guy still has an Apple 6. Make it do like old phone things.
Some freaky shit to make him get a new one.
Yeah. So
thing is, I can't. I'm broke. I have like my funds, my bank account is like dwindling slowly, as I'm like still waiting for my background check for my job.
Yeah, that's taking a while, huh?
It's taken a while. It's been saying like ETA will be done in 1 day, and it's been like a week now. It's been saying 1 day, and I'm like, I emailed the lady that hired me. I'm like, hey, so what am I going to hear back? She hasn't replied to me yet. It's been like more than a day at this point. So I'm like, I'm starting to sweat. I'm like, hey, come on! I did the stuff I did. I did what I was supposed to. What's taking so long? I signed the contract. So.
Signed the contract. They give you a call. Yo, why haven't you been at work yet?
I'm like, I've got nothing. Nothing in my email. I've even checked the spam folder, and it's like there's barely anything in there. It's making me like worried about how like maybe they're just taking a really long time, like they did for Jim at the first time I got him into security. It's like what, it took you like a month for your background to go through?
Yeah, it did. It was all because my piss was too clear, and it took me like it took them a month to be like, hey, yo, your piss is too clear. It has too much water in it, so you're gonna have to retest. And I'm just like, bro, you took a month to tell me that. You could just have looked at it and be like, hey, bro, it's too clear. Like, come on, man.
That's crazy how it's like it's too clear. It looks like water. Pee again.
Yeah, I had to come back like hoping I was gonna be able to pee whenever I got there, and then luckily it was yellow enough for them to be like, all right, no drugs inside, you good, like. But yeah, it took me a while to get started, but I got it. Which
That's
means
so
I was dry off of income for like a long time,
Mm.
and at that time my mom took away my credit card, or she canceled my credit card because she didn't like that I wasn't working for like 2 months because the job I had before, I quit and I was gonna take a month off to just hang out, do whatever, just relax until school.
Enjoy
came
freedom.
back. Enjoy freedom just for a little bit, because I don't want to be a wage slave. Which I still am, but
We all are.
and I took a month off, and I'll be like, all right, after the month's up, I'm gonna apply for Paul's job. Within a few weeks, I'll have a job, and then like I did the process, which took like a week or two, and then they're like, all right, drug test, and then it took another month for that to go through, and then for me to get all that done, and the whole process ended up being like a month and a half longer than I thought it was gonna be, I think, and then finally I got started, and I was getting paid again. So my bank account, I started from zero until I got my first paycheck from that job.
Nice.
Nice.
The rest of my money was being held by my mom, which I think has dried out now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the hope for me right now. It's just like it's just taking a really long time, and I had some funky stuff or just like, hey, yeah, your contract's void. You're not working here no more. I'm like, what the fuck? What have I done? All I've done is wait. So that's the worry, but
Yeah, speaking of being a homeless, useless member of society, I finished my grad school application recently, and so now all I have to do is wait for the response saying like, "Hey, you're accepted." Because I was just waiting for my professors. I've had to be like, "Hey, all right, we'll hook you up with a letter of recommendation," and it took me a while, but I finally got 3 to go, and now I'm just waiting. And once I start grad school, I'll be very broke, and I will ask you two for spare change for when we hang out. That is the thing that will happen. Once I start going to school, I guess Paul will be gone by then. But
hopefully I'll be gone by then, so I won't have to be asked for spare change.
You can still ask Paul for spare change.
No, that's fine.
You'll be richer than all of us.
Yeah, and then part of the graduate program is that I'm supposed to get an internship. I think my second year in the program, and I'm very sure I don't know for sure, but based off of my predispositions towards this thing, I am very sure it's gonna be unpaid. So I'll be working as a slave if I get into any of these programs for a year.
Unpaid internships.
Yeah, which let's be real, is just modern day slavery. I said it is. I said it. It is what it is. All right. You people can lie to yourselves and say it's not. It's just like, oh, it's just an apprenticeship, so you can get close to the place you're working at, so you can get a job later.
You get paid in experience and exposure.
Yeah.
And it will hook you up with a job after. It's like, okay, so you want me to be an indentured servant then? You want me to work just so I can serve you later on? Anyway, it's not great, but it is what I had to go through, unfortunately.
That reminds me of like a freaking post I saw on Twitter, or not Twitter, maybe it was on Twitter, but it's pretty much someone asked a question like, is like a post that said or a screenshot that said like, I have these like students from like Austria that are doing like an internship, but I don't know if it's Austria. I'm gonna say Austria because I'm pretty sure it's Austria. Just said like, and apparently they have like paid internships over there, and it's like by law, internships are paid or something like that.
Yeah.
As an American, I feel as though I shouldn't have to pay these students while doing internships over here. How can I do that? Unfortunately,
unpaid internships are their standard. They're pretty terrible. There is nothing good about them. And I don't know. I'm hoping people our age don't excuse it too much. Like, oh, at least you get a job after. But even then, that's not even guaranteed. If you're doing work, you should be getting paid for it. Yeah. And I think that might apply to Dean if he goes into the history field, right? I don't know what your plan is for that specifically, but I'm assuming with stuff besides teaching, you're gonna have to do internships too, right?
Probably.
So I would assume anyway. Yeah.
If I continue this route.
Well, you're pretty deep in now. Like, you can always hop off, of course, but
definitely.
With history, as Paul may know, from experience or what he's heard, not much you can really do with it outside of
Yeah.
teaching, which is why I think most history majors end up being teachers.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just went down that route just because, like, military, they take whatever degree, so I'm like, I'll take it. I'll just take whatever degree makes me happy while in college and not as stressed as I was, like, for that little stunt, for that little while where I was, like, in mechanical engineering until I realized I was bad at math. So,
Yeah, I just remember like my history teacher at my community college. She was always like, "Hey man, you want to become a history major? Hey, don't knock not being a teacher, or don't knock being a teacher. It's something you're gonna have to deal with and accept." He just like basically straight up like, "Yeah, you're probably gonna become a teacher. Like just accept it. There's not much else. Like obviously there are paths out of it, like out of history that don't lead to teaching, but it's pretty limited."
yeah. That or, like, maybe, like, a librarian or something.
Yeah, and who wants to do that? It's just like
I mean,
do
I ain't
books.
gonna lie. I
That
thought
sounds
about...
sick.
When I was, like, applying for jobs, I was like, I wonder if I could get, like, a job at the local, like, public library or something. But then there were a lot of steps involved. I'm like, fuck, I just want to do it, like, as a part-time job. Just be that guy that, like, put the books back on the shelf or something. But
How does a history major like work with that though? Do you do you get like tours to be like, hey yo, this section is about Greek philosophers.
I had one classmate who gave, like, tours. I think, what was it? One of the famous, like, haunted, quote-unquote, haunted houses in our area. I forgot what it was. I don't remember. I'm not gonna remember. But she, like, gave tours there, and that was, like, her part-time job. And I think she also gave tours as well in, like, at San Francisco for something as well. So it's probably, like, like, old museums and all that.
Yeah,
Or,
I mean,
like,
I guess it helps if you're a tour and you'd be like, hey, this is the context behind this. But I don't know. It just seems like anybody can do that as if you just like hand them like, hey, this is the script for this section or whatever, you know.
yeah, I don't know what the official. I'm pretty sure that's just, like, a part-time job and not an actual, like,
Yeah. So like,
career job.
yeah. So as a career, you can't. It just seems like your options are like just limited. Like
Yeah.
librarian stuff from what you described doesn't sound like something you would do as a living, you know. And if
Yeah.
it is, then it just sounds like incredibly tedious. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's what I was like. I like military under my belt or, like, in my plans already, so I'm like, all right, I'll just go with that. I don't have to worry about, like, whether or not this degree will be viable for me.
Yeah, I mean that is the social sciences as a whole, though. I think the most useful is psychology, which is the one I'm doing. But even then, it's so like overpopulated because like everyone who takes a psychology class in college is like, oh wow, this subject is interesting. And I think I'm gonna study this as a whole, which is what happened to me. I was that person, and then because everyone thinks that there's like a shit ton of psych majors, and so yeah, just. Luckily for psych majors, there's like a lot of options, but I think most people goes towards like therapy, which is not what I'm doing. I do not have the mindset for it. I think I haven't been diagnosed, but I'm very sure I have ADHD. So if I would have someone lay on a couch telling me their problems, I'll just be like, what? What'd you say?
I lost you.
I'm sorry. This Sudoku puzzle is killing me. So 350. You can PayPal me, whatever, biggie. Like I wouldn't be a very good one.
I'm paid to listen. I'm not paid to give advice. I'm just paid to listen. And listening, I will do to an extent. I'll pretend to listen.
Like if it's your friends, it's not like I'm. If Paul comes up to me and Paul's like, "Hey, bro, my girlfriend's cheating on me," and he tells me about what's been going on. I'm just like, huh? Like I'll be listening then. But if it's with like people, I'm meeting for the first time, I might have trouble like paying attention because paying attention doesn't really come easily to me. I get distracted very very easily.
Would if I were to, like, give you, like, that, like, hey Jim, I have some problems that I want to talk about. Do you, like, in actuality, do you, like, drop all you're doing, just like, all right, I'm a purely 100% listen, or you're just like, okay,
I try my best.
As I'm like as you're browsing through, like, YouTube or something.
No, I'll try to listen, but like I'll try to listen, but it just doesn't mean I will. It's not something I can like consciously control. Like if I'm not paying attention, it's not to what you're saying. Even if you come up with me, I'm like, this is some serious shit. If I'm not paying attention, it's not because I don't want to pay attention. It's because I just, and I just can't
Just can't.
make
Just
myself.
can't.
Yeah,
Got
Goes
you.
out the
yeah.
window.
Which is why which is why I really think I do have ADHD, but I haven't been diagnosed. I don't want to say I have it for sure, but I have all the symptoms, and kind of, yeah. It makes sense with how how I am in school, because like there are a lot of times where I'll like I'll be like, okay, pay attention. This is she's giving a lecture. Try to pay attention to what she's saying, and then I just wake up. I'm like, oh shit, I dozed off. What's she saying? Okay, no, I need to pay attention now. And then I just like my mind just goes all over the place, and then eventually I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't hear a single thing she said. I could hear her talking, and I just didn't know what she was saying.
Got you.
Yeah, just it's that stuff is difficult, and I think if I knew about this earlier in life and I had like the right medication, like Adderall, I think I might have been a better student. But yeah, work with what I have, I guess.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, I've wondered that too sometimes. I don't think I have it, but sometimes I wonder, like, is this just like maybe potential ADHD, or just like I'm just like daydreaming? I'm just like, for a split second, I just stop paying attention just because like this is so boring to listen to, and there's like something more, or just even if it's like something I'm interested in, just something more interesting that just catches my attention for like a split second, and then I'm like, oh fuck, I have to like, if it's like a video, I'd like, oh, I need to go back a couple seconds and all that. So I don't know if that's just like, that's just normal human behavior. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, some people, it's like it is normal behavior. I would think to not pay attention sometimes or lose interest in something or whatever.
Yeah,
But it just depends on how much it disrupts your day-to-day life. Like for me, it definitely disrupted my ability to learn in school, because like I had to, unless I was like really interested in the material, it was hard for me to pick up on stuff, like pick up the things that they were saying. And I'll have to rely on notes, which is why like when I write notes, I never really like absorb what they're saying. I just like write what they're saying. So like when I can come back to it later. But if I'm just there listening without taking notes, I will like forget everything. Or I will not be able to get that knowledge to be used later on.
got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found like I'm really bad at taking notes, and even if I do take notes, I realize like halfway through university when it finally dawned on me, like, wait a minute, notes doesn't really help me, because by the time I get home and I looked over the stuff like how to do the material, I'm like, what stuff that made sense to me before didn't know what I was looking at, just because I was just trying to speed write everything that the teacher wrote on the board. So I just found like I just gave up on that. I'm like, well, I just don't take notes, and I just sit there and watch what's happening and just like put my full undivided attention. And surprisingly enough, that actually helped me. Just
like everyone's a different learner, because what you did there, that would never work for me, because I just can't do it.
Yeah.
The reason why I do really well in school, at least in college, in high school I paid way less attention in high school. In college, I'm paying for that shit, so I'm more incentivized to pay attention.
Yeah.
But in college, what would help me do well in like on like tests and stuff isn't even like looking at my notes or anything. It's just more like studying helps, of course, but it's more like if I'm able to replay the kind of like a video of the lecture that was given. Like if someone was giving a lecture of like, this is the story of the battle between the Greeks and the I don't know, between the Athenians and the Spartans. So that's an easier thing for me to come up on the spot. This is the battle between the Athenians and the Spartans. If I'm what helps me pass the test is that I look at the direction where the professor would normally be lecturing, and I try to replay the video of them lecturing, and then I'll like be able to answer the question based off of that. It's kind of like a photographic memory, but as a video kind of. And then sometimes it's just a matter of like, if I've seen like these words before, when I take a test and I look at the words on the question, if I'm able to remember where I've seen those words before and what the answer to that was, I'm able to answer it the second time. So I guess I kind of have photographic memory in some sort of way. It's not like perfect or anything, but that's how I'm able to do well in school. And like, yeah. Which doesn't help with me actually like learning though, because like again, like the
Just
paying
more like
attention part.
memorizing or stuff.
Huh?
It's more like memorizing.
Yeah, it's not about actually learning. It's just like I'm good at memorizing it, but it doesn't help me when it comes to like learning it, though, which is bad. Luckily, I do think I'm smart when it comes to school, so like
Ah.
I don't have as much trouble memorizing concepts because I think I'm really good at that thanks to my brilliant IQ. But but with other stuff, I'm like yeah, just if I don't care for the things I'm trying to learn, and it's a lot harder. Which is why when I take a biology class, I struggle more to do well because I care far less about the material.
I think that applies to everyone though, and that you're more better able to learn if
Well,
it's
it's
like a
worse for
subject
me
that you're interested in.
because of my ADHD. It's hard for me to really pay attention if I don't care about it.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely like the whole like being interested in what you're learning applies to everyone, but yeah, you're also right in that if I guess if you have like ADHD or like other factors like going against you, it's like hard. It's
Yeah.
like it's harder to like retain stuff.
Yeah, which is why as a kid there were like I remember in kindergarten they would just I've mentioned this before, but they would pull me out of my kindergarten class, my first grade class, to have like me talk to like a social worker one on one, and they're trying to scout what I had because like I think they're trying to see if I was autistic or if I had ADHD or if I had something else. I don't know what they officially like assigned to me because they eventually stopped doing it after a while. I guess they got their answer. But yeah, there's just something about me that was different from the other kids in my kindergarten class, and it might have been just been ADHD because like I've also mentioned before, like when they would tell me to draw something specific, I would just draw Spider-Man, and I don't know, that's probably just me fixating on like the Spider-Man thing, and I didn't want to draw anything else.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never had anything like that happen to me,
Me either.
except maybe like I think one time I had like I was like sat down one on one with like some teacher or social worker or something in like the 5th grade, and it was just like putting like putting opposite words together and all that. And that's probably like the closest thing I had.
Mine.
And I wasn't sure if that's just because I was just like I transferred to a different school at that time in like the 5th grade. So I remember I think I did pretty well on that because she told me like, what's the opposite of deep? And I said shallow, and she was like impressed by that. So I'm like for some reason, I guess knowing the word shallow as a 5th grader is not common. I guess.
These nuts got him. Ah! Yeah, mine was just like the testing my English speaking skills, and they would show me like a picture, and it's like, all right, what's he doing? And I'd be like, he's sweeping the floor, and it's like, something like that.
Was it after like
English is your second language, right? Which is why it would be like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I mean,
I
yeah,
know
that makes sense.
But I don't think I've ever asked you this, but do you think in Tagalog or do you think in English?
That depends. That depends on what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
It's like either one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my brain is so dominantly English that like my Vietnamese is like giga scuffed because I think in English I would talk to my stepdad and my siblings in English, and the only time I would ever speak Vietnamese would be with my mom or my grandma or my or I guess my mom's side of the family was probably better. But yeah, because of that, I would always think in English. I would dream in English. My dreams in Vietnamese were very rare, and then even in those, the vocabulary was severely limited because my mom, I love her, but her Vietnamese isn't even that good by Vietnamese standards, and mine is like a fraction of 100th of what she knows. So, which is why when I had my first job, it was at a Vietnamese. Oh, it was like an Asian food supermarket. So, supermarket with Asian food. And so most of the customers were Asian or Vietnamese. And they would try to talk to me. And that's when I learned my Vietnamese is terrible. Like, it might sound good to you guys because you guys don't know anything about any Vietnamese. So if I were to speak Vietnamese, like, casually, you guys would be like, oh, you sound pretty good in Vietnamese. But when it comes to, like, actually using it with actual people who speak it, I am an infant. basically.
Got you. Yeah. I'm like definitely in the spot where just like all of it's like 100% dominated by English, just because like it's the only language I can speak like fluently or even like on a conversational level. I was like studying French, and back when I was like studying it like hardcore every day, there did come to a point where like I wasn't thinking in French, but I was like I definitely had dreams where I was like speaking in French, and I was like, yeah, this makes sense to me. My studies have been like a little scuffed as of late for the past like couple months, just because like I don't know, I just like ran out of materials, and so I'm just like reviewing stuff, and I'm just like not as excited about it. But once
And
I get
the more important parts of your life, like the OCS thing, is taking more and more of a presence in your
yeah,
life.
definitely, yeah. So it's more like I should probably like put French on the back burner and like study like for my OCS class, like like parts of a rifle or like weapon conditions and all that, or like 5 paragraph orders and all that stuff. So I'm like, fuck, I don't want to study this. I want to study languages. This is like more fun to me, but
Hey, the
yeah.
weapon rifle conditions, you gotta learn them, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Fucking hate those things.
I know. But hopefully there'll be a time where like, all right, I don't have to worry about that. But then I'm probably just be like, all right, once I'm like I passed TBS, I'm in flight school. I'm like, all right, time to study more plane stuff. I'm like, fuck, I just want to study French.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably just like an excuse. I should probably just like put more effort into it and just be more disciplined about it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, speaking of like languages, right? I was watching this YouTuber. I'm not sure if you guys know him. Deadly Jimmy. I think that was his thing.
Me?
I do not know.
So he plays Valorant.
Mm-hmm.
And he was.
Oh, actually, I think is he like he's either Japanese or Korean.
He's Korean, but he can speak both languages.
Okay, I know. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. I remember seeing a couple of videos like.
Is he known for Valorant? Is he known for the language thing?
I think he's known for Valorant. I think.
Oh, okay.
He plays Valorant,
Yeah, he plays
but
Valorant.
he
speaks different. He either speaks Korean or Japanese.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and he speaks English, but he's like, I'm gonna talk to these people while speaking Korean or speaking Japanese. I remember seeing one where he's like talking to like this one Japanese kid, and it was like pretty cute because it's like I'm an adult, and he's like, follow me, and the kids were like, okay, we'll follow you, sir. They were like, the kids were very polite. It was like very cute video.
But he was live. I caught his like live stream on YouTube, and he was speaking Japanese, and I was understanding it. And I was like, dude, I haven't fucking studied this language in like forever, and I'm understanding what he's saying to the person. And I was just so proud of myself.
Yeah, languages are wild because like after like studying for a while, and once you get to a certain point, even if you haven't like touched the language in like years, or it's been like in the back of your mind and you haven't touched it in a while, like it's still, once you come to a point where you can like have to like reuse that skill again, it's just there. It's like riding a bike. You have to get to like a certain level for that retention to be there, but once you get to that level, it's like pretty sweet because you don't have to go over the basics anymore.
Yeah, I was just like, holy shit, I can still understand Japanese.
Yeah, it's all that anime, dude.
My mom made me she made me take Vietnamese classes when I was in middle school. So I think I was like 7th grade, and I was pretty much she made me and my siblings start. My brother didn't start till the year after, but she made me and my siblings do Vietnamese school. But it was also tied with like the Catholic Church, and so I did that starting 7th grade, and unfortunately the thing is when you're supposed to start your kids young, like there's when they start 1st grade in Vietnamese school, you're supposed to be like 8 years old, but I was like 12 or 13, I forget. One of those two. And so I was like towering over everyone. I was just like, get me the fuck out of here, like this isn't right. Like
school bully.
Like the kids would play football and then they would invite me to join. I'm like, okay, and then I dunked on everyone, and because they couldn't like what could they do against me? They have like tiny legs. They can't outrun me. I'm massive, I mean, I'm short compared to like people my age, but amongst these young kids, I was massive. And so am I lagging?
Nah, you look fine.
I'm lagging.
Oh yeah, I see it a little bit. There it goes.
You have to fix it now, Dean.
I'm coming. I'm trying to fix it now.
I don't know if Jim is still there. He's pretty quiet.
Oh, that was fucking weird.
Oh, damn it.
What was
Dean, get fucked.
what was the last thing you got?
You're talking about like towering over little kids during football.
Oh yeah,
or
so yeah,
soccer.
it was football. So they couldn't beat me. I was massive, you know. And
I like football.
I was there for 2 years until they moved us to the bigger school, which was like 3rd to 8th grade. So like, you know, there's way more people there. People that were way older.
Damn, bro. You're
And
an empire. You just bullying kids. Like, give me your
I could have raised an army of little kids who would do my bidding. You know,
have like a mafia just full of children, and you the
and
boss.
so I went through 1st and 2nd grade okay, because I'm fucking old as fuck. Like I can handle this shit. And then my sister started around the same time I did too, and I think she failed one year. So like I didn't feel like I was like better than her, because I was like, well, she's like fucking 9 years old. I'm fucking 13. Like it makes sense. And once I got to 3rd grade, I was in high school already, and at this point I became an atheist, or agnostic at that.
Wait! You said third? You said 3rd grade was high school?
In Vietnamese school. In American school, I was starting high school as a freshman, and this was the last year I did this because I wanted out. Like at this point, I was like a full-blown agnostic. I was like, I don't believe in.
So it's 3rd grade Vietnamese school.
3rd grade Vietnamese school, 9th grade American school. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I had it.
This is when I met you guys. I was I was a freshman at the time, and there was more people my age around there, like but they were in the upper grades. They were like 6th, 7th grade. And I was in 3rd grade as a teenager, and I also became an agnostic, so I didn't believe in God anymore, and so I was just like, I want out. So I started having my rebellious phase, bro. I was like, fuck this class. I don't give a fuck, and I was just like not pay attention, not do homework, and then my mom begged me to stay because she wanted me to receive communion, and so I was like. I don't have a choice. I wasn't 18 or anything, so I had to do it. And I went through that whole year, like being an agnostic. I had to do confession, where you go, the classic, you go talk to a priest one-on-one.
Hello, Father. I've been naughty.
And I just when I was confessing, I was just like, I don't. None of this matters. Like me confessing you doesn't change shit. Okay, like people do bad, people do good. It's just the way it is.
Did you like BS it while in the booth, or did you BS it, or were you like?
So my priest was like, "What have you done wrong?" And the first thing that came up to my mind, I beat off the other day. I was just like, "Oh yeah, I don't do my chores sometimes, and sometimes I get angry at my mom." And that was it.
Did you ever say like, "I don't believe in God anymore"? Did you ever say that or no?
I didn't say that. I was afraid. I was afraid they'll make me like spend more time than I had to talking to.
Yeah, they'll probably call your mom like, "Hey,
yeah, that's true."
Yeah, so
he's gonna have to stay here.
I thought about it. I thought about being like, "Hey, I don't think God exists. Like, I just he just doesn't seem to be real to me. Jesus Christ, maybe he was real, but he was no son of God. There's no God. I don't think there is a God." Like that would lead to them calling my mom like, "Hey, there's something wrong with your son."
Yeah, I had the same worries when I was like eventually left my church as well. When I was like still volunteering every Sunday morning after work, and I was like already agnostic by like 2 years at that point. I'm like, fuck, what a good excuse can I have to leave this volunteer service right here?
Yeah, so I ended up flunking 3rd grade Vietnamese school because I legit did nothing. I didn't pay attention. I didn't do much, and I also skipped a lot of classes because of RTC stuff, like drill practice, drill meetings, and the sports events that we did for RTC.
I love the sports events.
And so I skipped a lot of days, and they're like, "Hey, man, you're skipping a lot of days." But I didn't give a fuck. I was just like, I didn't believe in God or anything. The Vietnamese part, it was already a struggle. I was just like, okay, this is starting getting a little hard, and and I'm just not picking this stuff up anymore. I guess I was like too old to pick up on a new language. Like when it comes to like the stuff. But I also wasn't like actively trying to learn it either. So yeah. And so that was my last year. I did the communion thing, but I didn't like communion. Is supposed to, I think it's supposed to be something holy where like you connect with God. But I was just like, that shit ain't real. So like I didn't care if I was blessed or not.
I did my communion when I was younger. I don't know how young I was, like 3rd grade maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't I thought it was just part of the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Is it like tradition or something?
Yeah, it's part
That was my first time tasting wine, by the way. I've never had wine before.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be more grapey than it was. And it wasn't. It was not grapey. It's kind of shit. Yeah. It was kind of shit, actually. And I tried the cracker thing.
You know what? You know how, did you guys line up?
Yeah, we did.
So, when we line up, it was like boys on one side and girls on the other side.
Yeah, I think that's what it was too.
And I was paired up with my crush, and that was like, you know what? I'm going.
It's a sign. Maybe God is real.
Dude, the communion thing was the worst, man. We had everyone's fucking parent, like everyone's parents was there because God and all that, and everyone gave a shit about that. And so when you look at the boys line, it was just like little tiny boys, and there was fucking me, a fucking high schooler. Like I was 5'1" or 2 or something, 5'2".
Parents are like, goddamn, what are they feeding this kid? He's so fucking tall.
I like how when he's like, I was towering over these kids, and he's like, I was 5'1". I was like, all right.
These kids are like 3 feet, bro. Like it wasn't.
I know, but just like putting in like context of like how like what people actually think is like tall as an adult. It's like
if my parents waited another year to make me start this, like if I was a 10th grader, because by that point I already hit puberty, I would have been fucking like 5'7" over these kids.
I can just imagine.
And that was I wasn't even done growing. I'm 5'10" now. So imagine me right now, like receiving my first communion with those kids.
Yeah,
like some kids in the back of the church, just like smoking like a fake cigarette candy.
They got them ring pops too.
Yeah, they got the ring pops.
Pretend to be like a pimp or something. Like, yes.
Hey, look, take the kid out, huh? But boss, he didn't do nothing. He's also 5 years younger. Hey, look, I don't pay you lollipops to not do what I say. Okay, do your job, or else I'm gonna send my little boy Nat at you.
You do the job, but you don't have to give it off, but you can't refuse.
Oh man, I can see that.
Yes.
In the back of the church. Hey, why don't we give?
There's always some like shady stuff at the back of the church.
Why don't we give the priest some little cash, huh?
But yeah, like after that, I thankfully was I had RTC as a good excuse to not do it anymore. For 10th grade, and so 10th grade I was free from all that shit because I had to spend every Saturday doing that, and I hated it. Especially after becoming an agnostic, which I'm an atheist now, so I've moved further from then. But yeah, it was pretty miserable the last year there. But I got out. My sister, my brother, unfortunately stayed on for a couple more years after that. But
yeah,
yep, sucks to be them. But yeah, I was like so I was happy to be out. But yeah, like that was me trying to learn my Vietnamese again, or like the written and whatever forms of Vietnamese, and that was kind of hard. And yeah, and I didn't. It wasn't like I was trying to learn it, but yeah, it was a lot harder than learning English when I was younger. Which I guess is kind of weird how that works. Like because when you're older, your brain's more developed. You would think you would pick up on it easier. Compared to when you're a kid. But yeah.
I mean, it's like both have their like pros and cons. Because as a kid, when you pick up a language easier, just because like it's like very new. Like you don't have a whole lot up there already, so just like everything is like
you just absorb everything.
But when it came to like learning like concepts, not only do you have to like teach them like this is the word car, you also have to teach them what a car is. Whereas like as an adult, you already know what a car is, so you just like and
all the things Google that go along with car, like a car goes, a car drives, a car blows up or whatever else.
Yeah, it's easier to like absorb stuff as a kid, but I think as an adult, it's easier to learn when you're learning a language to like learn concepts because they already know these concepts. So you just translate.
Yeah, and even at that age, it's not like in high school your brain's fully developed because your brain doesn't fully develop till you're like in your 20s. But it's just I missed my window, I guess. My brother and my sister were also a little too old to pick up on Vietnamese as well, which is why their Vietnamese is worse than mine. Because as a kid, I absorbed more Vietnamese than they did when they were comparatively my age. But yeah.
I remember Ian and Suzette not able to speak English, and now it's their main language. They can't even speak the old language.
Oof.
Yeah, it's also some people just like straight up forget languages when they get older. Because I went on a date with this girl, which I've told you about her before. One of them, and so she was raised in Germany, and so she knew German. And then when she moved over to America, they tried to get her to learn English, and she was in German saying no. I don't know what the German word for no is. I don't know. But nine. She said nine. I refuse to learn English, and
this is just the English translation of what she said.
Yeah,
I don't want to become an Englander.
She probably had the accent because she was speaking German already, right? So
yeah.
But eventually, after being in America long enough, and speaking only English because her parents like discouraged her from using German in the household. They would just only speak to her. They only speak and answer to her in English, and so eventually she picked up on English, then dropped German, and eventually German would just left her altogether.
That stinks. I feel as though if you're like going to school and it's like everyone's like speaking English, I like the home is like a good place to like still carry on those old language roots.
Maybe her parents didn't do the right thing because maybe they could have encouraged the German thing, but also encouraged English. So when she goes to English, she has to learn English to survive, right? And maybe that would have been better for her. But
I think that's what happened to Ron and Suzette as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I guess you have to be really young to kind of forget an entire language. Yeah. So I guess your siblings were brought over at a similar time as her. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I wish I was able to like understand Cambodian and that because when I was young, my parents spoke to me in Cambodian for a little bit when I was really young, but eventually I don't know what happened. They just like spoke to me in English at home, so that's all I knew. So even though I went to Cambodian school and I had the very like similar rebellious phase as you did, Jim, but I think at probably like
you're younger, right? So
I was younger, but I was like already like it wasn't just like I didn't do the homework or I didn't pay attention. I like outright did like protest and like refused to like learn. Like I told you guys a story about like how I legit brought like a pillow sat in the middle of the classroom and just like took a nap. I'm like, I will show you how little a fuck I give about this class.
Good night, sir.
Good night. I'm going to sleep. I don't care if you're taking tests. I am outright protesting. So.
They're just like, all right, whatever.
Fuck you energy too, but I didn't have that level of fuck you energy.
Yeah,
I respect it though.
Yeah. So, but now, because like back then I was like, I'm never gonna learn Cambodian. I don't care about this. It's doesn't even like the language doesn't even sound good. But now that I'm older, I'm like, man, I kind of wish I did knew or spoke it, or at least in the very least understood what people were saying whenever they speak. But now, whenever like some stranger like that my parents know speak to me in Cambodian, I just smile and nod like. Yes, yes. I have no clue what you're saying.
I have no clue what you're saying, but I'm
gonna be.
Yes.
I'm gonna pretend. And just like, I was like, oh yeah, nice, and all that.
Yeah.
Even though they're probably sound like my family died or something. Like, oh, that's cool, nice.
Oh, how's your boyfriend? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but now I wish I'm like. It is like one of the language I do wish to learn like one day is Cambodian, just from the simple fact that like it's my family speak it, and I wish to be able to communicate. But it's definitely not like one of those languages like French or like Japanese or like German or Russian. I'm like, oh man, I wish I knew that language. It sounds so cool. But Cambodian is like, it still sounds lame, but fine. I'll do it just because family.
If I ever date a Vietnamese girl again, I hope that her Vietnamese is worse than mine, because that way I can be the superior one, you know? Like she brings me over to her family, they speak to me in Vietnamese, and if I'm better than her, then I will win their blessing. If I'm worse than her,
yeah, definitely. They're like you straight up just better than
yeah.
her.
You know they're gonna turn to her and then like just talk shit like he speaks better Vietnamese than me. Why can't you be like that?
And you're just like,
But if I know less, if I know less Vietnamese, they'll be like, no, fuck this kid. He's not a real Vietnamese guy. He's just an American who happens to look like one of us.
Yeah.
He's whitewashed.
Yeah, fuck this guy. He can't even speak our language. Fuck him. You know, if she speaks fluent, that's even worse. You know, like, yeah. At least with one, I can boast. If I know more, I can boast about it and look better comparatively.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Let's go.
And she says, her mom's like, hey, what do you say for New Year's? Chuk Mong Nam Moi, and she's like,
He's the one. He's the ones.
he's a keeper. You keep him. Not like that the Hong boy that you had last time. That Hong boy, they know the lick of Vietnamese, okay?
Sign the papers. Give him the papers.
Oh yeah.
He is now
Son, you have my blessing. Please pass on your knowledge to her.
Man.
All right.
To end this on this note, I've been listening. I don't know this meme where just like there's one Asian YouTuber who does like the Vietnamese accent. You guys probably know him. It's like he's just like emotional damage and all that. It's like it just
Emotional damage.
I can't do the accent, but I'm like yes.
Emotional damage.
I forgot how goofy sounding. I'm sorry to all the Vietnamese listeners in the chat the whatever.
Wow, what about the Vietnamese listeners in the call?
The Vietnamese listeners. I'm sorry, but I'm just like it's so funny
okay.
to listen to.
I can't consider myself bilingual because I don't speak it very well. Unless it's for a job interview and they're like, "Are you bilingual?" Then I will be bilingual for that job interview. But yeah, so it's okay. It is an ugly language. I don't like the way it sounds.
Yeah.
All right, we're in 2.
Like every word's so aggressive. Cái thằng này á, không có đẹp trai à.
Yeah, you're right. It does sound pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
Like,
Thằng này khó lắm, bad quá bad. Nó bỏ nhiều cu trong miệng nó. Like look at how that sounds. I said you suck dick.
If I was like a parent of a non-fluent Vietnamese girl, I'd be like, talk to me more. That was so good.
I have never recorded myself speaking Vietnamese, but I'm pretty sure my voice is different. Like the way I say words is like way different. And then I apparently have an accent when I speak Vietnamese too, like a specific Vietnamese accent, because I pick up from my mom. And I guess there's an accent behind it because I've had Vietnamese students in high school be like, "Hey, where you from in Vietnam?" I'm like, "What? I'm American. I'm pretty American."
Apparently, like Vietnam has like 3 different accents according to this one YouTube comments I saw. There was like the northern accent, the southern accent, and then like they said like your demonized middle accent.
I think there are more accents. It's just that the vocabulary is a little different for certain words. Like my mom speaks. My mom and grandma I think are from my grandma I believe was from the northern Vietnam because my grandma would always correct me when I said things wrong, even though I'm like, what the fuck, this is what my mom says. Like yellow, for example, in southern Vietnam is yang, and then in northern Vietnam, yellow is I think is vang or vong or something like that. And my grandma will always correct me when I said yellow. And then she
isn't northern Vietnamese like standard Vietnamese?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm just obviously because my parents are from South Vietnam, or my mom's side's from South Vietnam mostly. My grandma I guess is the only exception. Pretty South Vietnam language biased, so I wouldn't know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just that sounds like the correct one to me. So yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just know about how like a lot of countries have like the standardized version of the language and all that.
Yeah. So there's
Yeah.
vocab differences. I'm sure there's more if I were to think about it. I mean, probably not because my Vietnamese isn't that good, but
Yeah.
But yeah, there are
Yeah.
differences in there.
Yeah. I've recorded myself speaking French, and there's definitely like you can definitely hear like there's not as heavy as an American accent as like when someone's like first learning French for the first time, but you could definitely still hear it, or at least like
Yeah.
my accent. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why it does. I guess would help if you pick up the accent in English. Like if you pick up on a French accent in English and apply it to when speaking French, I guess you'll sound more a little bit more native at least.
Yeah, what I do to try to like sound more native or like native French is like legit imitate the French accent while speaking English.
Yeah,
So like,
dude, well, nothing makes me cringe more when it's like I'm not Mexican, but my stepdad's Mexican, and he passed on Spanish to my younger siblings. I was too old to pick up on it, but when I hear white people pronounce Mexican words or Spanish words, it's like I saw a YouTuber I follow. He was like in a podcast, and they were talking about getting tacos, and then one of the restaurants he was going to was Baja Fresh, and they used to have a special called Tres Tacos. But what he said was I went up to the cashier and I ordered Trey's tacos, and I was like cringing so hard because he said Trey's tacos, and I was just like, what the fuck, dude?
Can I get some horchata?
Like I know you know that's not how you pronounce it, but how dare you reduce it to that? Like, come on, at least try a little bit, Trace, like ray tracing, Trace tacos, like what the fuck?
it just sounds like Ray with a TR at the beginning.
Like you learn the accent and then apply it to how you say the word. It helps you pronounce it better than American accents.
Mm-hmm.
The rest tacos, easy. Like I just do the accent. That's all it is. Trey's tacos.
Tacos.
Yeah, but I've also heard like some native speakers like of like certain languages say like even though like for many people are like, yeah, I kind of want to get rid of my accent when speaking like a different language, like getting rid of the American accent when speaking French, or getting rid of the American accent when speaking Vietnamese. Some people are like, I kind of like hearing the accent though, just because it adds like some flavor to the language. Like whenever like you hear people from Germany speaking like English with a German accent, you're like, that sounds tight. Or like Russians speak it, or like French people speak it. It's just like something about that accent just like adds flavor to it. So if they're like so good at the language that they completely erase that accent, and they sound like they're from that, they're like a native speaker from of that language, it doesn't feel as special, even though it's like more impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to pronunciation, though, I think it's better to just adopt the native accent because you need to pronounce it correctly.
You can still pronounce it correctly, but still have the accent.
Yeah, like Trey's tacos. That's unexcusable. Okay, like
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think accents are cool. It's just that what helps people, like, I guess it's like a self thing, where it's like, I feel more connected to this language if I immerse myself more with the accent, like speaking the same accent as them, versus using my more American accent. If I speak with American accent while speaking Spanish, I might feel like I'm distancing myself from it, the language itself. So, I don't know, probably that sort of thing.
It's like one of those things, like if you're the one speaking it and trying to hide your accent, you're like take more, you notice that more. But for like if you're like someone else is not doing that and you're just like listening, you're like, yeah, I like it. It still sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
And we would probably be like on both sides of the issue, depending like who you are in that scenario.
Yeah, like the word burrito, like that's not how you pronounce it in Spanish. In Spanish, it's burrito, but we say burrito because it's just the American accent way of saying it. But we're not mispronouncing it. Like if you said burrito, then fuck you.
You're butchering that on purpose. Yeah, I know. There's like a
chalupe. Oh God, chalupe.
Tacos.
It's a.
Dude, when
I definitely know some correct ways to like say words, but for some reasons, like I there's like this voice in the back of my head, like, what are you doing? You're trying too hard. Who are you trying to impress? What are you doing? So I'm just like, even though like I know what the correct way to say it is, I just say like normal Americanized version.
Yeah, I mean, this is some words like for example, Korean foods. I cannot pronounce fucking Korean foods for my life. Okay, I look up the words and I'm just like, how the fuck, you know? But
I just know
um,
gimbap.
huh?
Gimbap.
But yeah, it's just like I don't know, like some words are like if it's more similar to your language, it should be easier for you to pick that word up. Like even if German is more different than Spanish, like if you know some words, you know, if I were to see it, I might have a if I get you know the correct way to pronounce it, you know, I should be able to pick up on how to pronounce it, even if it's through my own accent or whatever. Like wunderbar,
Wunderbar.
wunderbar. When playing Secret Hitler, you know. That's,
Haven't touched that in a while.
yeah, you know it's all online now. You just play online.
Yeah, it's definitely online. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how
It's
that would
online.
work though, but you know that's cool.
I've played it before.
Online?
It's
How's
I
that?
played online before. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Is
I still prefer like the in person, but it works. It does the job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, these sort of games are better in person, just because you know you get to see their facial expressions and kind of get the better sense of when they're lying. Like Among Us, I think the thing that stops it from being as good as it could be is because like you can't tell when someone's lying just based off their voice alone. Sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, lads. How you feeling?
Sleepy.
Among Us.
Among Us.
I don't know why I'm so sleepy today.
Oh, doof. That was me yesterday. I was like, just out of energy. I was like, I didn't want to do anything. I felt like an old man. I felt like I was dying. Today I feel good.
I'm feeling pretty good today. I'm a little hungry, so we can end this soon, so I can get some food.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sounds good.
I gotta eat dinner as well.
All right.
All right.
Leave it to you,
If you
Jim.
enjoyed today's episode, catch us next time on episode 71 next time. But as of now, episodes 1 through 69, aka season 1 of the Nincompoops podcast, the NCU, is up on the YouTube channel right now. So you can watch those. We did a hentai tag tier list last week, so if you want to watch that, and then that's something you're curious to see how our tastes align or disalign on certain issues, like the abomination of certain tags last week. You can check that out on
That
YouTube
art,
as well. I think that tier list video was a way better one than the fetish one we did like early on.
It was definitely more organized, in very least.
Like obviously the tier list made things very like structured as well, but I think we did a better job making it more interesting. Not just because of the tier list, but because you know the way we were talking compared to the first the fetish video we did like last year or no
Yeah.
a few years ago now I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it also had like makes more excited to like expand the format a little bit to instead of just like talking, because it gets like old. We run out of stuff to talk about because there was only so many.
We've repeated ourselves, I'm sure, a lot. Like
You say different words.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like this season, we will definitely change it up every now and then.
Yep.
It won't just be us turning our mics or not our mics, our webcams on or off. You know, maybe more tier lists in the future. We'll see.
The novelty has worn off.
Or yeah, we'll try to do some different things this time around until we reach episode 69, number 2, which is coming up a long time from now. If we ever get there.
69 number 2, Sexy Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, Twitch. You want to watch us on Twitch live? We're live every Wednesday, PST, at 6:30.
Yes.
Is the time we try to start at.
Speaking of that, 2 more months,
Yeah.
baby, and we're back. Or 1 more month, a month and like just the whole February, and then we're going back to daylight savings.
All right.
I thought it was April.
No, it's early March.
Oh,
It'll come when it comes.
I feel like it's too short though. Like, not that I like PST, but because we went to PST in November, right?
Yeah.
That would have only been 4 months. I feel like it's like a little too short.
Ah, well. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
March 13.
March 13th. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. I'm not complaining. Fuck PST.
Yeah. Fuck the standard time. It's about the daylights.
Yeah. But yeah, watch us live, watch us YouTube, all links you need in the description below. Not that this happens too often, but leave comments, just reacting to stuff, that's always fun for us. I know I do know there's at least 2 people listening every week. Okay, so hey, leave comments. Okay, like maybe you have us all tabbed or some shit, but you know what?
Like back
It's
when I
time.
used
It's
to-
time for you guys to put in the work. We sit an hour talking all the time.
Yeah.
Come on, give us a little something.
Who's gonna pay Rey Mysterio? All right.
Yeah. You think Rey Mysterio's contract is cheap? He's wrestling right now. You think he could just say fuck it and also do this? No, we need to pay him. Booyaka,
All
booyaka,
right.
619.
All right.
And as always, fuck Paul for having bad taste in hentai. And later, have a wonderful day.
Later.
Later. Have a good one.